GM. GM. So, trade of the day, I think the actual market movement is probably going to happen very, very soon. 12:15 UTC. Excuse me, which by the time you watch this, it may have already happened. It's only 30 minutes from now. But the reason for that is the ECB monetary policy and refinancing expectation is coming soon. So currently, the European Central Bank has interest rates set at 4.5%. So this is the exact same thing as what we look at with the Fed, except in Europe. And the expectation today is that they actually cut. Now you can see from this list that they have held rates above 4.5% or at 4.5% since last September. Okay, so for 8 months, 9 months, they've had interest rates at 4.5. The expectation now is that they cut. Why does that matter? Well, what's everybody waiting on in the US? They're waiting on Jerome Powell to do the same. And if the ECB actually go ahead and they follow through with it and they cut rates today, that's going to be a signal to the market that coordination across central banks is probably leaning towards interest rate cuts. It doesn't mean the Fed will, but historically, the central banks tend to, go broadly in unison with each other. And the correct assumption at that point would be it's inevitable for the US. Now, if they don't, I don't know what the exact percentage chance is, but if they don't cut rates today, you're probably going to see negative reactions across the market. And that will bleed over into crypto, in my opinion. If it comes in at a rate cut, I think that will produce some short-term volatility. It won't be totally unexpected, but it will be a signal to the market for, a more zoomed out view. And it doesn't mean that you're going to see, insane massive pumps or anything like that. I think this is more of a good indication of what's to come and where we're heading, rather than, anything more than that. Now, Pepe actually has a really good setup here if it can get back above the monthly open. It's really simple, nice clean setup on Pepe. You've got this sort of sloping trend line that it's been in. It has broken out from it. Okay, it's not above the value area right yet. The value area high is the top of this blue box, which I'll just drag on across here. And the monthly open is right at that value area high. So for me, it's simple. If Pepe can flip that, boom, away we go. And I like the look of Pepe if it can get back above the monthly open and hold it. So I'm waiting to see that. Monthly open and value area high. We'll take a look at what happens to Pepe there. Again, when you see this move today, and if the ECB and the press conference especially, if Christine Lagarde, who is the Jerome Powell of Europe, if she talks the markets up, that's where you're going to see these moves originate from. If not, you're either going to see a down move if they surprise by not cutting rates, or you're just going to see more chop until tomorrow when we see the jobs data coming in. And the jobs data probably more impactful at that point. So I like Pepe because also ETH is starting to show a bit of strength again. And if we remember this, see this zoomed out view I had? Daily bands would provide support and a retest. Let's get rid of those. What did the daily bands do? Daily bands for Ethereum provided support on a retest. And we got this choppy path I talked about. We pushed higher. We didn't go to 4K, but it did take out the highs. So that's done. It came back down. It's chopped. It's actually chopped in a more narrow range. And I think we're ready to break out on ETH. And I think ETH will go for the highs. And I think if ETH does go for the highs, I think that Pepe can probably outperform. Because Pepe is in price discovery. It's at all-time highs. And when you zoom it out onto a daily, it's quite a nice consolidation here at all-time highs. And if it is going to continue, it probably happens in a more short-term basis, like relatively soon. And we'll see. I think the next couple of days are going to be informative. In really simple sense, I think if we get bullish news, or the market perceives it as bullish from the ECB and from the non-farm payroll and jobs data tomorrow, so today and tomorrow, if the market perceives this to be bullish and we push higher, I think Pepe and Ethereum will do good. That's my very simple approach to today's action and tomorrow's action. And that's it. GM, GM. GM.